Star Citizen Alpha 4.0 is the next major milestone in Star Citizen's development, and its playable, persistent universe, and is potentially going to be in players' hands by the end of 2022. That said, it's been at the end of the year in 2020 and 2021 without materialising. We've sort of been repeatedly waiting for it to turn up and expecting it, but it's evaded and eluded us. This is for a load of different reasons, but it's basically delays because it needs more time to be finished. There's a lot of tech that goes into this. So what's so important about Alpha 4.0? What are the expectations here, and why has it taken so long to get into players' hands? There are three main expectations for the patch, for it to be dubbed 4.0, because it's just the moniker 4.0 for basically these three features that I'm going to talk about to be in the patch together. So it's the new star system Pyro, server meshing, and jump points. Star Citizen only has one star system currently, the Stanton system. It's been using this to make a cross-section of content and build tools out for all of the other game systems, so you can build a load of these biomes and change them, and they've got the tools to build loads of planets and star systems and missions and all this sort of jazz, because they decided to focus on one star system, build out the content, build out the tools, and then move on to more. And now they're in the stage where they are building out a lot more. And Cloud Imperium have a large studio focused on gameplay content at the moment with the Turbulent Studio, so they are literally building out planets, gameplay area, star systems, the star map, things like that. Pyro will be the next star system added to the game as part of the 4.0 patch. At least that's what we expect. And it appears to be a massive star system compared to Stanton in scale and distance between its planets. So it's going to take you a lot longer to travel around. Cloud Imperium have said they need ship-to-ship refueling in before Pyro is added, which is currently planned for Alpha 3.17, the end of Q1 patch for that refueling mechanic. This is partly because the system's size is so large, and partly because it's a less lawful system with minimal infrastructure, so you're going to need people to be able to refuel, rearm, and sort of restock you where possible. The system has 6 planets and that have 6 moons between them. We saw them retconning some of the Pyro system as well to make at least one of those planets more habitable, and another to have more resources on it, be more resource abundant rather than entirely stripped, because they want to have risk and reward gameplay and mining opportunities there. But also, they will retcon stuff if they need to. It is alpha. They'll change the lore. They'll go, actually, this makes more sense if we do it like this, or this is more fun, because it is a gamified experience. We saw Pyro 3 at CitizenCon 2021, where they showed a desert-type planet with blue skies, clouds, and new outposts that will help populate the frontier. That planet looks like it is very well built out, but one planet does not maketh the star system. We know that there's going to be a major space station around here too, at least in the Pyro system. Ruin Station, that will be a hub of activity in the system, but the whole system is reasonably lawless, save the rules set by any of the faction territories that you sort of go into, because there are 3 factions that we are aware of: the alien-hating Xenothreat, the vigilante overlords, and the mad sort of fire cultists, the fire rats, who praise the sun. We can expect this factional warfare to be extremely important, and reputation to be important here as well. And there are various abandoned and repurposed stations around some of these sort of planets and moons that the factions there have made their homes, but they are very Blade Runner, run down, dystopian cyberpunk. That's the way I describe them. So you might see some resupply services in the system, but they're not going to be cheap, or something that you can actually rely on being able to get all the time, because if you're sort of at war with one of the factions, or they don't like you, well, you're not going to be able to use their sort of areas to resupply. Something else Cloud Imperium have been working on for that system, beyond new planets and biomes, is that dangerous flare star. So Pyro, the star there, is unstable. It's dangerous. It will often send out radiation pulses that you should avoid by hiding behind an asteroid or something. We don't know exactly how deadly it's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to look cool, because they've been working a lot on it. Jump points. So, a jump point is an essential part of being able to travel between 2 star systems in the game. And we've got a jump point between Stanton and Pyro, or at least we will have in 4.0. That's the plan. So Jump points link star systems together over huge distances and allow ships that have a jump drive to move between them. We have seen an early example of some of what we can expect from CitizenCon 2019. Cloud Imperium have previously said a few things that may or may not have been changed, though. So jump points will have a ship size limit, at least that's what we're expecting. If you are too big, then you're going to have to find another route, use another ship, or maybe risk damaging yours. So I expect these to change somewhat, because they're, especially between Stanton and Pyro, almost certainly going to be able to use any ship and move any ship between the two systems. There will be a bit of a minigame or some skill to traversing jump points, potentially, avoiding hitting the sides of the tunnel or other obstacles there. Though that said, I do expect a auto sort of go there feature as well. But you have NPC crews and that sort of thing. You don't want them to accidentally explode. But we will have to wait and see. There is going to be jump points that you can find and discover, and there's going to be potentially minute games for that, but we're talking about an established sort of infrastructure based jump point. And yeah, actually jump points that are known and are regularly traveled between will have infrastructure around them as well. So they might have defenses there, they might have little stations there. They're also going to look pretty interesting. So we've seen how these sort of nebula and gas clouds and stuff were built around a jump point area, and they're very different. So the Stanton to Pyro jump point is very calm and orderly looking. I thought it looked a bit like a pineapple, but very calming one. And the Pyro side, so from Pyro to Stanton, that's much more chaotic and crazy and dangerous looking. But boom, you're going to be able to travel from Stanton to Pyro and vice versa, and this may be where Xenothreat emerge from and retreat to, because they're supposed to be a faction in Pyro system, and obviously we know that they appear in the Stanton system when they're doing ops and things. We are expecting to see some form of static server meshing, or at least sharding, to allow the transition between the two star systems and connect the servers between them so that you can sort of play with a load more people on a server together, and it is a seamless experience with no loading. Now, static server meshing will allow a star system or areas of space and planets to be run by different servers that share information between them seamlessly, thusly evolving the 50-player servers that we currently have into having many times that in players per system on the same mega server. Now, I mentioned sharding there because sharding is a necessary step towards server meshing and allows for persistent data to move with players between servers and sort of like hide objects there, potentially have bases, and share where base locations are between all servers, but you could like hide a stash of weapons. It's sort of important that it tracks where certain things are. And you could have a situation where if server meshing, static server meshing isn't ready, you could potentially have sharding taking over and actually have people just moving between servers entirely with sharding, I think, while still having the Stanton system controlled by one server and Pyro controlled by another server, potentially. So basically, we technically don't need full-on server meshing to have jump points in Pyro. It would be good to have static server meshing. I think that's still the plan. Cloud Imperium have certainly been working on server meshing for years, and if you want to learn more about server meshing, sharding, and networking solutions for Star Citizen and how they're going to make Star Citizen into an MMO and raise player counts, then you can check out the CitizenCon 2021 presentation on that, or my breakdown of it, which I will link down below. Now, that is sort of a rough, sort of what makes up the core of the 4.0 patch. The sort of features that they need to then go, this is now called 4.0, a slightly new era for Star Citizen. But you can expect some other features potentially around here as well. There are those new outposts on Pyro 3 that they showed, and we know that they've been working on them for the Pyro system, and we know that they're a step towards sort of player bases and customizable hubs, some of which might come out at the same time. I do think we're going to have sort of the ability to live planet-side in those outposts somewhat, or at least customize them in some way. That's what it sounds like with custom habs, at least in the first stage of them. We know that there's going to be a range of new missions, like the Acquire the Hydation Artifact one that we saw at CitizenCon, and also sort of interacting and fighting with those factions around Pyro, bounty hunting, pirate extermination, much higher risk versus reward mission, lots of PvP, as, you know, there are less repercussions of fighting in the Pyro system because there's no real laws there, though there may be jurisdictions based on faction territory. A new star system is going to mean new opportunities for mining and cargo hauling, as well as tracking for bounty hunting. There's going to be a huge amount of new biomes and sort of facilities and points of interest all over the place. Could we see things like physical components or Vulcan integration at the same time? Potentially, but it is sort of based on whatever is ready at the same time. And I would expect the core of 4.0 to just to be the main focus and what needs to be worked on and tested, because you've got to think about the PTU cycle, so the test cycle. They go, bam, we want to get this patch out. How long is it going to take to test with the Eva Kati and then with a wider testing group and open PTU before it's ready? Well, if it's going to be 6 months, that's ridiculous. And if you have too many features there, it does sort of bulk that up. So we're going to be looking at, with 4.0, them just trying to get all the missions hooked up in Pyro and all the encounters hooked up and working, and the new ships. Yeah, there's probably going to be new ships and more minor features sort of coming in here, maybe some events and that sort of stuff, but I wouldn't expect like huge gameplay mechanics at the same time. Something I have seen a lot of talk about are animals like the Microtech Yeti and Pyro crabs, seeing a lot of work. It'd be great to see them this year, even something derpy, yeah. But yeah, we're at the mercy of what is available and what is ready at the time. And we do know that Cloud Imperium have got a bit of a new release sort of strategy, which is they take features and then they run them through Squadron 42 and iterate on them in that branch of the game. And they try not to release features in isolation. They try to have gameplay associated with them, more than them to make sense before releasing them to the persistent universe. And at the very least, we're going to see lots of updates to Pyro, server meshing, jump points, and many other features this year in Star Citizen as it continues to expand its development team and infrastructure, moving to some new studios in Q1 and Q2 2022 in the UK and Frankfurt. I do think that coronavirus and rapid expansion and changing plans for Star Citizen and Squadron 42 has caused even more delays. Yes, I do think their expansion to all these new studios probably will cause at least a quarter delay as well, but then allow them to develop a game over a significantly longer period of time and then support it over a longer period of time, which is the idea here. And we do know that they've signed 10-year leases with their new studios as well, so that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to them moving to the new studios Q1, Q2 of 2022 in the UK and Frankfurt for sure. As of January 2022, we know that a large portion of Pyro is complete and server meshing is a major development focus. Work on jump points has been ongoing as well, but I haven't heard much information about jump points. I will keep you up to date with any developments, but 4.0 and all the associated features there look to be the focus from Cloud Imperium when we're not talking about Squadron 42. Obviously, that's the lion's share of development and the core for that. But what do you think? Are you excited for the prospect of the Pyro system finally in-game and 4.0 coming out in 2022, or at least the end of? Do you think it will slip into 2023? Do you think it's perpetually going to be an alpha and these things are going to get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back? Do you think it's going to be a big old bug fest in 4.0 when they eventually release it because of all the new sort of content and server meshing and all that sort of stuff? Or will it be pretty sweet, even if it is buggy? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What is best in life? To crush your enemies? To see them driven before you? And to hear the lamentations of their women? No, of course not. It's NordVPN. I never saw Conan the Barbarian checking his bank balance and then watching some cool shows on Netflix, all while protecting his privacy and being super secure. To be honest, I can't even remember Conan wearing a shirt. Silly Conan. And now, a big old snake god's got your internet history. Good job. Don't be a Conan the Barbarian. Check out NordVPN. Links below for powerful discounts too. Every month we have a ship giveaway for January 2022. It's for a Drake Cutlass Steel, a light assault dropship variant of the Cutlass, perfect for attacking Jumptown and similar narcotic processing areas. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that Star Citizen ship is comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details down below. If you would like to further support the channel, consider clicking the join button under my videos or becoming a Patreon. Comments, suggestions, likes and shares all help the channel massively too, so always feel welcome to share your opinion or feedback. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you in the verse.